In Girls Frontline 2, Springfield and Centaureissi are the power duo of the Zucchero Cafe. But if you go back to Girls Frontline 1, this wasn't always the case. In fact, there was that one time where they had a really bad fight, where Raisi just straight up called Springfield lazy and incompetent. Stick around, because we're diving into my favorite side story in the original game to see how a bitter rivalry turned into the partnership we know today. So first, a bit of context. Back in Griffin, the commander always have a lot of helpers in his work. His biggest helper is his adjutant Kalina, which means she has to take care of all the paperwork needed to keep the base running, like supply requests, door repair reports, leave approvals, logistics and deployment prep, and so much more. And because this workload is insane, Kalin works very closely with Springfield, who leads the logistics department, and her second-in-command, G36, the one we know today as Centaureissi. Together, these three are the backbone of the base. Aside from that, Springfield also personally manages the Griffin Cafe, which is a very special place for everyone because this is the only place where the dolls can relax and pretend they're not living in a military organization in a middle of a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Now, this particular story starts when Kalin suddenly collapsed from overwork inside the cafe. Springfield, being the good person that she is, immediately drops everything and stays with Kalin for days in the infirmary, closing her cafe and putting off all of her logistics work. In the meantime, she assigns G36 as a temporary adjutant for the commander. And surprisingly, G36 is amazing at this job. She handles all of Kalin's work and all of Springfield's work in the logistics. But she also starts to feel a bit annoyed, because Springfield chose to abandon her responsibilities voluntarily. Yes, there is nothing wrong with her wanting to take care of Kalin, but could she just ask for someone else to do it? As I said in the beginning, without these three, the whole base will crash and burn. Because if Kalin is unable to work and Springfield takes a leave, G36 can only do so much to replace them. There are key decisions that can only be taken by either one of them. So it is irresponsible for Springfield to just drop everything without proper handover process. But okay, G36 is a professional, so she kept it all to herself until she watched how Springfield runs her busy cafe. The lines are terrible. People are waiting hours for her coffee, and customers have to leave without getting served. This is unacceptable. Springfield is way too relaxed while serving the customers. This is not the Springfield she respected from the battlefield. So she confronts Springfield about this and says it outright to her face that she is sloppy, inefficient, and lazy. And instead of taking it in stride, Springfield basically replied with, "You don't know me and my work." So, thanks to a certain gremlin, they decide the best way to resolve this is to swap their jobs for a day. Now, you might feel that this is kind of surprising. Centaureissi in Girls Frontline 2 is not the type of person who would start a fight. And you would be right. But you have to understand that G36 is not yet Raisi. She is far more rigid, far more blunt, and way more rude. She views everything through the lens of a soldier first, mate second. And most importantly for the story, she cannot smile. So, how does Springfield do in this job swap? Surprisingly, she is actually doing great. She replaces G36 as the commander's adjutant and immediately starts flexing. She can do everything that G36 can do, plus giving the commander a good back massage in his office. But then comes G36C, comes along to help her do the real job, cleaning the entire Griffin base. Every hallway, every room, dusting, sweeping, cooking, every single day. Alone. And Springfield is horrified. And yet, she still thinks that she can one-up G36 in the cafeteria. Instead of sticking to cooking the standard meal, Springfield decided that no, everyone needs her personal touch just like in her boutique cafe. So she lets everyone order whatever they want. You want pizza? Sure. Soup, Chinese food, custom requests, everything. for 300 people. This obviously goes horribly wrong when half of the base is starving in line waiting for food, just like in her cafe. She did eventually succeed, but she is dying, and she still has half a day left to do. This is a hard reality check for Springfield. She realized that G36 is not rigid because she lacks empathy. She is rigid because her workload leaves no room for inefficiency. You simply cannot run a military base where everyone gets personalized care. G36 cares by making sure no one goes hungry, even if it looks soulless from the outside. Also, a side note, why do these dolls need to eat or can feel hungry again? They're robots. Even in the sequel, I don't think we ever have any dolls starving. Even in absolute poverty like the doll community, their main concern is getting batteries to charge themselves, not food. But anyway, on the other side, what about G36? Surely because her normal workload is heavier, she would find the cafe to be easier, right? And yes, first thing she did is to one-up Springfield by adding more pastries and desserts in the menus. In case you don't know, Springfield is great at making coffee and traditional meals, but she is very bad at making trendy food like cakes or tiramisu. But then G36 noticed the cafe is not clean enough to her standard, so she decided to clean the entire cafe until it smells like a hospital, which means she also purged all the warmth and relaxing atmosphere with it. So obviously nobody wants to stay in the cafe anymore. And even if they stay, G36 gives them a death stare as they drink. I'm sure to her it feels like she's being attentive, like a proper maid in a military cafeteria. But to the customer, it feels like she's saying, please finish your drink and leave immediately. Especially because she cannot smile. This gives G36 a hard reality check. She realized that Springfield's slowness is great for managing customers' emotions. People come to the cafe and trusting Springfield because she gave them that sense of warmth and comfort. You simply cannot optimize relaxation to the customer. So at the end of the day, both of them apologize. G36 admits that she judged Springfield too harshly and assumed too much, and Springfield admits she was being arrogant. From that point forward, they start running the cafe together. Springfield handles the customer and G36 handles the desserts and operations. And together, the cafe becomes way more popular than before. And a nice touch is that the reward for this story is a skill in-game that is only active when two of them are together. As the closing note, Springfield gives an advice that G36 just need to smile more often. And this is probably the first time we see her smile. Honestly, I really wish Girls Frontline 2 had more smaller conflicts like this. I find it hard to believe that in the Elmo, we have no major conflicts between dolls whatsoever. Even the best families often bickers when it comes to small things. And that's great for stories, because through conflicts, we'll get to learn the different beliefs of different characters and how they resolve their differences. That is how we'll get good character growths. And maybe some of them can become lifetime partners, just like Springfield and Centaureissi. But what do you think? Are you on the side of G36 and agreeing that she has a point? Or do you think Springfield did nothing wrong in this story? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you'd like to see more of this story breakdown video, then please leave a like, subscribe, and hype this video so I can make more of them. And with that, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.